I'm looking for a different medium to express myself. I dabble in video creation and I write blogs about everything I do. I think it's time I try a new thing. I want to try drawing comics. I have been a long-time fan of this Instagram account called Adulting Doodles. He draws comics as a way of sharing relatable moments in his life. I think the way his comics touch my heart is something that I don't really know how to explain. So, let me just show you an example. Chills, right? I think what really stands out to me about his comics is his storytelling. I want to be able to tell stories the way he does. But to do that, I need to first learn his medium. So I started by copying his drawings, specifically the way he draws people. I think one thing that has been really daunting to me about drawing in general is how difficult it is to draw people. It feels like you need to know proportions, you need to know body anatomy, and if you get any single part wrong, you end up with this weird, cringy looking picture that makes you doubt yourself. You ask yourself like, should I even be drawing in the first place? I think drawing humans and being expected to draw like realistic humans is very overwhelming for a beginner like me, which is why I really enjoy his way of drawing people. The way this guy did it brought the point across without being too complicated to draw. He shows that this is a person and that this is a different person, and that's good enough. So I took some time to copy the way he draws people. It was hard at first. I found myself redrawing over and over again. I couldn't get the proportions right. Like, for example, the head isn't a perfect circle. So how do you know whether this head is okay and whether this head is too big or too small or too lopsided? Like, is it vibes based? I guess it just comes with experience, with drawing it over and over again and seeing what works and seeing what doesn't work. So yeah, I got the hang of it after a while. I started remembering that the arms start where the head ends. I started realizing that I need to draw the inside of the legs first before the outside of the legs so that it doesn't look too fat, and that the heels have like a curve on it before it attaches to the leg. So these are things that you can only learn when you truly look at his art closely and copy it. After I got the hang of drawing people, I started drawing different poses and from different perspectives. When you plan to steal art, you gotta think ahead. I actually DM'd him back in 2023 to ask about what font he used. And he told me he just used his own handwriting as a font. And I was like, well, shucks. My handwriting's really ugly. I can't do what he did. So I did what I could. I took a screenshot of his handwriting and uploaded it onto a font finder to try and find similar looking fonts. And I settled with Choco Banana. Another thing you need to know before committing art theft is how the art is created. Does he use pen and paper? Does he draw digitally? What software does he use? It is gonna take me months of analyzing his art, looking at unerased pixels as a hint to whether or not he draws digitally or physically. It's a lot of hard work. Nah, I just asked him 3 years ago. After getting the hang of drawing people, I moved on to the storytelling element. I read through every single one of his 335 comics to try and get a better understanding of how he tells stories. You know what? That's a lie. I did not read through his earliest comics, which were comics about physics and math, which I didn't really find relatable or interesting. And I think that's what I took away from learning about the way he tells stories. The reason his stories speak to me is because they share feelings that I have felt before. And I know it sounds painfully obvious and very duh, but yeah, that's what I took away. That the stories I write have to invoke a feeling that others have felt before. With that in mind, I started drawing my own comics, and here's how they turned out. I'd like to take a moment to thank Adulting Doodles for existing. It is because of his comics and his art style that allowed me to find the smallest confidence in myself to start drawing. I learned so much from stealing his art. By learning to draw the way he does, I have gained a deeper appreciation for his art. I now know how much time and effort it takes to draw each comic. I poured hours into a single panel, and it made me realize that the moments we choose to draw must mean so much to us because it takes so much effort to do it. I think my script writing has improved as well. Because comics are so time intensive to draw, it really challenged me to figure out what to leave in and what to take out, and how to make the comic flow as smoothly as possible and say what it needs to say without being too much to draw. The way Adulting Doodles unabashedly puts how he feels into his comics really inspires me to do the same as well. I think in my works of art, I struggle to share my thoughts and feelings because I fear being judged or hurt. But it is through that vulnerability that he shows that he is able to reach the hearts of others. So, what now? Well, I want to keep drawing and I want to keep practicing my storytelling skills. So I started an Instagram account and I hope you can check out my comics over there. But more importantly, I beg you to check out Adulting Doodles and share in my joy of appreciating his art. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.